What up, it's your boy Jay Caulfield, and you're listening to Uncovering the Underground Radio with my homeboy Skippy Ickham on Spreaker Podcast Radio, bringing you the best underground music. Holy shit, it's been years since I touched a mic. Still a piece of motherfucking shit. Yo, I'm an asshole. I'm a fuck up. Every fucking thing I say is fucking fucked up. Yo, I guess that I just fucking suck. Damn right. Fuck. Yo. I guess I'm just a fuck up. I just wanted some love, but I'm getting none, cause I'm an asshole. I don't really care, I think that I'm cool, cocky like a billionaire. I never really learned to shut my mouth. Every single word I say is what goes south. I've got no filter, so there's plenty of pop. Yo, anything and everything is setting me off. What's up, cunt? I never learned to respect. I do what I want. Yo, I'm the worst of the best. I mean the best of the worst. When I'm spreading some dirt. Yeah, fuck your reputation, you're dead in the dirt. I fucked up again. I lost all my friends. Don't care, I don't really give up. I fucked up again. I lost all my friends. I don't care, I don't really give up. I don't give, I don't give, I don't give, I don't give up. I don't give, I don't give, I don't give. I don't give up. Right, once I started making some friends, I go and get myself banned from Facebook again. Yeah, try and calm me down, but the hate doesn't end. I'm an internet asshole, the latest in trend. I'll berate you for your views and point out your insecurities. I hate all that you do, and all of it is learning me to jump up in your comments or get up in your face and tell you since you're different, you're a fucking disgrace. I'm a grade A dickhead, a high class cunt. Yo, I think I'm gifted and fly as fuck. I don't care if you're my friend, cause friends are for cunts, dude. Before you block my number, just let me say, fuck you. I fucked up again. I lost all my friends. I don't care, I don't really give up. I fucked up again. I lost all my friends. Don't care, I don't really give up. I fucked up again. I lost all my friends. I don't care, I don't really give up. I don't give, I don't give, I don't give, I don't give up. I don't give, I don't give, I don't give, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. The entertainment age is here at last. Too many racing, but not enough gas. Marketing off a bill of fuels. It's not immoral when there are no rules. Yeah, and I'm just like any other guy. I try to stick a finger in the pie. Sometimes love it ain't enough. The crust is too thick, my gun is getting tired. And we just keep on doing what we do. No time for me, I got no time for you. You better get with it, or you will never get this. La 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 la. All I really gotta say to you, you get treated the way you do. So when I'm old and lonely, you'll be old and better. I'll see you later, 'cause I am a catchy rhyme. Oh, then nobody is equal. Your flashy clothes and your attitude, demanding looks for your latitude. Believe you're on the level. This life is yours to revel. I'll see you later, 'cause I am a content creator, and you're the frustrator, my constant source of inspiration, creation, yeah, I hope you're having fun, I hope you like what we have done, we need you to try it, we're begging you to buy it, all it takes is a blazing time,
the light while I'm looking up to the cracks. You don't know what a freak, baby, damn, you be looking shit, baby. Soon as she see my face, you know that bitch started to shake crazy. People started gathering, dripping on my appearance, started grabbing on me, started slitting, throat started with a difference. Now I'm covered in blood, the fuss was alerted. Fuck it, I guess it's back to the mud and living under the surface, and shit ain't even worth it down. There I be living perfect, nobody yelling in my face and calling me ugly and worthless. I am the king of this underground. You cannot fuck with trouble in this ugly sound. When I rock on, we'll grumble like I'm dumbing them down. When I get to the top, I'm your bubble like you're loving them now. I see the way they look at me every time, like I ain't nothing, like I ain't worth a dime. But I got something that they ain't never seen. When I bring that to the masses, they gon' see what I mean. Hold up, check this shit out. I be whipping through the shadows at night in a bucket, causing ruckus, doing the unlucky fuckers in my way. When the night is mine, you don't rest when the moon is shining. You die in a low light, and now you never gonna see another day. The land I come from is done with pine trees. They will never find me, no we smoke a light. Journey into the message, you will die like a bitch. Right to the shit, worldwide with it. Have you seen the motherfuckers and they still ripping so smooth? When I'm in my groove, watch I do to murder your crew. I'm famous like Quasimodo. Mine is the hunchback, raised in a dark cage, and only allowed to jump scratch. I mean, I'm hungry for whether it be the money you're eating, the random junkie you bitches better feel on Tony. I'm that funky motherfucker that's spreading across the country. If you trying anything funny, I'm leaving this bitch bloody top. I see the way they look at me every time, like I ain't nothing, like I ain't worth a dime. But I got something that they ain't never seen. When I bring that to the masses, they gon' see what I mean. Well, I'm a freak, baby.
Teens, madness and sadness, happiness and joy mixed with depression, and those lessons we all learn from having these emotions grab us. Suicidal, homicidal fits of psycho rip inside my vitals. I feel G's. How do I manage this? Emotions that keep roller coasting in my ghost, that makes me feel I am indeed more hardcore and then mixed quick with a little harmony. Go let the flow go live like I'm a moment to the very in the center of your squad. I'ma spit it again cause I've embedded it deep inside of you like a chip in a robot. Shiny 5 is alive and I'm making it known from every emotion I stretch like Botox. And son of a gun, hip in the bad seats, I can't believe everybody's rolling a soul off. Sorry doc, I really like it the way that I was made, so the crazy train stops when I roll off. And I gotta exhibit everything that's stuck inside of my prison. When I get a vision, I'ma go off. Got me feeling like my mentality better me, gotta be the side effect of my motherfucking anatomy. Overheating the brain, be running ahead of me, recording whatever the data be gathering. Sane, I think not 1 million thoughts and they fire at once while I'm caught in the middle of a rock and a hard place. Take 'em to the Mars space case on slot. I can't think from the feels I be feeling coming up out of me, ruckus like a bug shot. And I like if I did not tell you I'm distraught. I deal with all these things inside. I don't know how I'm still alive. I am on things, madness and sadness, happiness and joy mixed with depression, and those lessons we all learn from having these emotions grab us. Suicidal, homicidal fits of psycho manageless emotions that keep roller coasting my ghost, that make me feel I am indeed a mixture of all of these. Hatred and love and peace and war, hardcore and then mixed quick with a little harmony.
I'm a ball of confusion, trying to make sense of a life living in the dark, trying to figure out money, trying to figure out art, trying to figure out what in the hell am I doing here, and I fear that it's all an illusion. Have I traveled too far in the wrong direction, telling me to stay calm while it's all impressing, while I detonate bombs and prolong the messes, and I gotta make all of the music, all that I ever fought for, doing it for all your amusement. Everything I've suffered in every moment of trouble, the difficult in the bubble, it was all but abusive. I kept it all moving and thought I had it in check, but it fell out behind me, I felt the breathing on my neck. I could feel death coming, but I wasn't ready yet. I remember what he said, if I wasn't already dead. Ever since then, I've been a lightning rod. I feel it all so hard that I fight with God. It overwhelms every night until I can't even sleep. I panic and creep out to feel the banister creak. It's like a mental insane asylum inside my skull of overwhelming emotions, and it divides my soul. And I'm doing what I can to survive. I grow. Is it ever gonna end though? I don't know.
I deal with all these things inside. I don't know how I'm still alive. I am on things, madness and sadness, happiness and joy mixed with depression, and those lessons we all learn from having these emotions grab us. Suicidal, homicidal fits of psycho rip inside my vitals. I feel G's. How do I manage this? Emotions that keep roller coasting in my ghost that make me feel I am indeed a mixture of all of these. Hatred and love and peace and war, hardcore and then mixed with a little harmony.
We in the zone, no telling where it's got us going. No going home, things change, gotta seize the moment and own it, yeah. Tell me how you hype, just say so. Man, I'm living life, I don't lay low. Brought some weapons and I guess I bring a payload. Shocking out of anybody in my way, whoa. Tell the devil I'll be back to get my halo. Till then the motherfucker better stay home. All the power that I hold is finna blow the roof off. Any place I bring a mic, I might take souls. Back up, this shit is real as it gets though. Flow cold, dead nice like a headstone. Rappers popping up, I make them vanish like presto. Stop, drop and roll, I make a fire just to get smoke. Life ain't living it in luxury, nah. But I'm someone they all wanna be, yeah. Guess it's saying that I must just be the next best thing to ever come and touch the scene, whoa. Man, I make a wave like Poseidon. Soon enough you gonna see me with the trident. King in my blood until the day I stop rhyming, which will be never cause my intelligence climbing. Look, y'all been irrelevant, better settle with bars. 16's off, rip like I'm a veteran dog. I've been better than many, stepping in the middle to spar. I feel a little me ain't literally a star. We in the zone, no telling where it's got us going. No going home, things change, gotta seize the moment and own it, yeah. Shit go hard, no doubt about that. Power for the moving and we bring it right back. Like I'm just going pedal to the metal in the fast life. Hoping that you get up on the way before a crash, right? Telling me that I'ma get it whenever the right time comes. But they will never be ready for that when I hype my buzz. I've been living alone and I'm feeling like I'm in the zone right now. So close to blowing up like I'm the bomb right now, whoa. Checking for the team get big. We all no doubt been on that heat wave shit. Everything we do is been a banger for your ears. Perfect melodies, we hungry so we eat that shit. Making waves at a rapid pace, I can pass the days. But talking crafty words in a crazy pattern for accolades. We have the greats and that'll be that. I'm just here to have the stage. A rap to y'all what I've written and thought over the passing days. But it's plain and in vain to the whole game knowing that my pain and my game be the same thing showing. With my name be the thing and they all speak hoping that I say every page, leave no line left open. I'm a G-O-D, you just a D-O-G. I keep my shit low key until the beat OD. I'm in the Z-O and E until I throw in the key. Just keep on throwing the heat, they know me, cause we in the zone. No telling where it's got us going. No going home. Things change, gotta seize the moment and own it, yeah. We in the zone. No telling where it's got us going. No going home. Things change, gotta seize the moment and own it, yeah.
Crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window, crawling through your window. I'm crawling through your window as you're sleeping tight. I'm the boogeyman, come to life, a mask of bloody shape in the night. Place my hand on your mouth, the other strikes your face. I won't leave a mark, but you best believe my rage will leave a trace. Coming undone, your clothes are gone, what you gonna do now, I ask? Begging for help, your words are noise that lose their value fast. Better keep it down, I'm not the one, I don't give a fuck what your boyfriend has. Beg at my feet, you filthy bitch, and open up that ass. Right here to treasure right at you. Leave you broken down like the feeble little insect that you are. Stop me, I break piece of you. Just to taunt you now, I let you feel me, violate you with these scars. Cry me a
take it. Like a good girl, your compliance is a must to make it far. Stop me, don't feed me, control me. What's the matter, doll? You didn't know that this moment was ours. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Just close those eyes and believe that you're safe, my dear. Trust in my words, but beware, I am the one you fear. This pain I bring shall release all the things you hide. Play my game and obey the way of the name or die. Locking all the doorways when you try to flee. Not a good idea, I'm death in the flesh and I feast on misery. Tie your hands to your legs and now you'll never leave. I'm loving the noise you make when you fight with me and struggle to breathe. Hit you again, the bruises rise to your beautiful skin is split. Fear in your eyes, I hold them open and fill them with my spit. Feeling my breath on your neck as I force myself to beside your dried up slit. So crying for help won't save you now and only get you hit. Break you and make you berate. Smother out your hope and leave you empty and dying inside. Now it is coming for you. Just to taunt you now, I let you loose and cut free all the ties that bind. Defiled and beaten denied. All over back. The last thing that you hear before you meet the bag and get the number you're assigned. Those eyes and believe that you're safe, my dear. Trust in my words, but beware, I am the one you fear. This pain I bring shall release all the things you hide. Play my game and obey the way of the name or die.
Yeah. 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 Begging for a friend and she know she gotta tip it top. She said she got pussy or the mine and I said give me the. I ain't got time to be dealing with you silly folks. Bless them with another dose. Stick it with another pose. Just overkill, I overpose. $1 million corner stores, let it hide in mine. Dollar signs, straight jacket, cooking guys. Betty Crocker, cooking guys. Seen him in his new disguise. Tweaking, see him put another pussy nigga through the sign. He need it, beat this whole nigga ass for the vine. And teach him, he crying out, he begging for his mama. She cheat, baby, you tease her. Yeah, tease her. Put the pussy out so I can tell her how to tease it. Freeze it, when she suck my freeze it. Yeah, that's my Gigi, I'm the go-go to a freezer. Love face, lay grace. Watch you flip, I'm gonna watch you flip. I'm gonna sever every single stitch. I'm the convict edge in case that both arrows through the neck brace. I don't wanna hear what you gotta say. Yo, switch up 12 shades, whether the race, bloody face with every race from Mars. I sound the Mars, I recognize change with the mind. I'm blind, just kind but even take over what is mine. Prestige killer, the energy eyes live quicker than Kennedy's hip. Don't back by the trigger. That neck hawk bag. Yo, dog in the pen, you gon' get crowd hands in my room and you gon' get surrounded. Like the mistakes we live in the fountain. Nigga for blood and I think that I found it. I'm on the same one than a mental patient. The stuff is reckless, massive famines in my basement.
So when my heart is on talk, if you ain't got the payments out of my leanings, you was remaining nameless. Looking back on the earth, this monster reaper must surface several aspects of my purpose, but never can understand why I feel so worthless and traumatized, like preteen boys after getting baptized. And man, I'm fainting. Tease it. Put the pussy out so I can tell it how to tease it. Freeze it. Wish it's up my freezer. Yeah, that's my Gigi. I'm the go-go to a freezer. Yo, stick, I'm cutting it back. It's a bit of yak, ripping it, stitching it back. Suits too tight, let me zip that. Quarter saying we taking it back, whole life. That's fast, cut knife, cut throat. I spin in the face, we'll see if they choke. To no mud signs of life, talking that dead on arrival. Put this with the pin like it's my survival. Keep the blinds low. Nobody knows once you enter the pin, there's no return until the dividend is earned. Remember how you didn't take me seriously? Now I get to watch you burn, and watch you burn. Cause I'm part of that cult life, cut life, and cult life. Cut life, and cut life. Cult life, and cut life. Cult life, and cut life, ayy. Baby, you be steezing, yeah, steezing. Put the pussy out so I can tell it how to tease it. Freeze it, wish it's up my freezer. Yeah, that's my Gigi, I'm the go-go to a freezer. Yeah, steezing. Put the pussy out so I can tell it how to tease it. Freeze it, wish it's up my freezer. Yeah, that's my Gigi, I'm the go-go to a freezer.
What's up, y'all? It's Lyrizone from Brutal Business. You're now checking out Skippy Ickham from Uncovering the Underground. Check this shit out now.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Uncovering the Underground radio podcast show. I am your host, Skippy Ickham of Brutal Business Entertainment. We have an awesome show for you this evening. Do want to thank you guys for your patience over the last few weeks. As you probably have noticed, there's been some technical issues, which is not something we normally experience here. Tonight was one of those issues again where we were supposed to start at a kind of a different and special time tonight, doing a Friday night instead of Thursday, doing 8:30 to 11, 8:30 to 9:30, underground music as we normally do for an hour, then an hour and a half of interviews. No matter what I did, I could not get the system to work correctly, even though it's hooked up the same way as it has been. Did everything I could think of, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, switched everything around a million times, only to ultimately put it back to the original settings it was at for the 15th time, and then it just worked. So, very strange shit's been happening. I don't know if I got a curse on me lately or what, if there's powers out there that don't want me to bring you this show, but either way, we are not done, we are not stopping, and tonight we have an awesome, fun-filled show for you. So, do want to give a real quick shout out to my sponsors, Tattooed Scumbag Apparel. If you go to their website, tattooedscumbag.com, again, that is tattooedscumbag.com, you can put in BBE10 as the promo code, and you'll get 10% off of any item that you order or the overall order itself. Awesome merch, hoodies, t-shirts, socks, beanies, hats, you name it. Sweatpants, they have it all. I love their gear. I rock it at almost every show. I rock it at the house all the time, just laying around the house. It's comfortable. It's not only good to lounge in, it's also good to go out and just wear out in an evening on the town. So make sure you check it out. Also check out Brutal by Design Apparel on Facebook. And they are a sponsor of BBE and Skippy Ickham as well, so thank you and shout out to them. Roush Designs, Legion Artwork, and then my man R3 Graphics, Rob Trey from Rhode Island. He does the show flyers for us. Used to be on Brutal Business at one point in time. Absolute monster on the mic and still a good close friend and homie. So shout out to everyone that's sponsoring the show and showing love. And, make sure you hit that share button. The more you share us around, spread us around, the bigger and better things we can do. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into telling you a little bit about who Lyrizone is as a person and an artist, and we'll go ahead and go from there. Many questions come to mind when you discover a new artist on social media. This would include, are they good at least? Are they a dickhead, or are they somewhat sociable? Is he, she going to stand the test of time? Well, let's just say, if you found Lyrizone's page, then you already have found out one of the most unique sounding artists in the underground scene as of now. But let us not just claim this, let us tell you a little bit why. Joseph Marino, better known as the underground name Lyrizone, was born and raised in Summerville, South Carolina. He first came on the scene as an MC who performed for Grind Mode Cypher in Hilton Head, South Carolina, late 2015. Following this, he was noticed in the underground being a former member of the hip-hop group Project Leviathan. Here, he raised numerous tracks and showcased his versatile wordplay and cadence, which led to the release of the classic track called Murderous Habits. Though unfortunately its momentum lost flair as the team members decided it was best to pursue their solo careers. After Project Leviathan disbanded, Lyrizone retracted most of all of his past catalog to start new and begin focusing and displaying his own brand and style. Coming upon late 2017, Lyrizone begins to be seen making guest feature appearances on albums of his peers and marks the debut of his distinct Lyrizone mask. During this time, he begins to show off his lyrical prowess and then begins releasing songs with metal-based influence. Late 2018, Lyrizone releases his first track of the rebranding, The Intrusion, that showcased his microphone presence. Lyrizone then started releasing singles to build towards the release of his debut LP, Sweet Relief. On March 10, 2019, Lyrizone was officially recruited by Brutal Business Entertainment. Owner myself, Skippy Ickham, joined up with me on the label for what has to come after this was nothing but the best entertainment and underground you could ask for, and that's the case in this case. We are bringing you 100% real, raw underground entertainment, not just music, wrestling, modeling, shows, photography, radio, and more. We aim to please. We aim to give you everything that you want in a show, in a company, in a group, and in a family, and that's exactly what we are. Without further delay, I want to welcome my good friend, Lyrizone. What's up tonight, bro? How you doing?
How's it going, Skippy? How are you?
Oh, not too bad, man. I'm glad we got things ironed out. We had a little bit of trouble there at the beginning. Like I said, it's just weird. The old computer went suddenly for no reason, which was very bizarre. Get this one set up. I continue to have multiple issues. I've worked for hours upon hours on end to get this thing running, get it running. Then all of a sudden, next time I start it up, it doesn't work, even though it's set to the exact same setting. So like I said, feel like I got some type of black hex put on me, but I am pushing through it. We got you here tonight. We're going to have a fun show, and I just want to thank you for being on the show tonight.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you more for bringing me and giving me this opportunity. It's a really cool event, and I'm looking forward to also talking to my fans and friends and let them know what's going on as far as music and answering their questions.
Oh, absolutely. The one thing we're not going to do tonight that I was hoping to kick off this episode, but it will have to wait because that's one of the problems that we are having is the inbound phone calls. We will be able to take phone calls coming up soon where fans can call in and ask directly to you questions and interact with anybody that we have on the show. We apologize we don't have that up yet. It's a lot harder than it would sound. It's not just taking a phone call. It's all internal, folks, and there's a lot of plugins and things that just don't want to react correctly. And I'm by no means an audio engineer, so we will have that soon. But in the meantime, if you do want to, talk with us on the show, feel free to go to Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com, or to the Spreaker app on your app market. Download that. Click on the Brutal Business Entertainment Show. Look for episode 16 with Lyrizone, and you can message us on the IM Instant Messenger there. I do see the comments. I will announce them throughout the show. I will ask Lyrizone your questions. So go ahead and fire away at us and show your love. So without, talking too much here, I want to hear a little bit from you, not from me. Why don't you tell us, how you came about? I know I read your bio. I gave the folks a little bit of an idea of, your background. But why don't you tell us what it is that sparked your interest in music, what age you were around the time that you said, I want to start making music as a passion, and tell us a little bit about that journey till now.
Okay. We'll just start from the very beginning. I started my more musical influence and get into actually writing and producing music when I was younger. Mostly during high school years when I was actually working, pretty much doing back-to-back. I never actually, between Saturday and Sunday, I stayed working, so I never really had time outside school to do fun stuff, I guess you will. So I took most of my time producing music as far as in actual class. We had music appreciation, so I spent most of my time inside the class, either writing and just going to the very back room producing. And my friends at the time, Jonathan Todd, he pretty much was also with me, and now he goes by JT. He pretty much makes music himself now, but now he's with production. So he pretty much grew up with me as far as music, and we were mostly every other week either hit him up, doing music at his place, recording little small stuff people actually hear on GarageBand, these little small programs, Audacity, and all these little fun little programs. But slowly but surely, I started enjoying actually getting out there, pretty much vocally showing what I can do. And that goes to 2015 when I was actually going through a grind mode cipher. Brandon Shelton, one of the guys actually in the group chat with us right now, and as far as the speaker, he went with me to that actual cipher itself, and we got to make Lingo. Lingo was a very chill dude. That was one of my top personal things I love doing, because as far as myself, that was get myself in my personal zone type thing. So I was very secluded and trying to write my stuff, just be by myself. But that got me to the next level of actually meeting different artists, figuring out different styles, learn their cadence, see what specifies them different than anybody else. And then from that point further, I just went head on heel and just started making music.
And then, it's just, I think, people that, are artists that push it, pretty heavily at this point in time, I think that, there's just like a point where you start making it kind of for fun, and then quickly you realize, okay, I want to take this to a greater level than I'm at now. I want to start pursuing it, and it becomes an addiction. I know for myself it does. I live it. I hate it. I love it. It's a mixture of feelings, as me and you were discussing earlier. There's so many times you just want to be done with it because it just takes so much from you, but at the same time it gives you so much and you love it. Like this radio show. It has been one of the biggest stresses of my life as of recent, but I love it. I want to keep bringing you guys this show. Hopefully you guys, continue to listen in and like it. If you do, please let me know. Let me know that you're out there. Let me know that you're watching it. Share it around, send invites, because it is a massive pain in the ass to run this every week. And we are doing that every week on Thursday nights from 8 to 10:30. And now we are bringing you a new show, which I'll talk about a little bit later on this evening. That'll be twice a month as well. So we're looking anywhere from 6 to 8 shows, depending upon how many episodes of Uncovering the Underground I take on. So please show your love out there. Spread it around. It is a lot of work, but as long as you guys keep wanting to listen to great artists like Lyrizone and find out who they are, I'll certainly keep bringing it. Now, awesome. You've released a few different, songs at this point. You've released some small projects. Why don't you tell us, obviously there is a project coming up. Tell us about that and what people can expect coming up as far as that.
That's actually a really good question. I was actually tell you about that. The project itself is called Sweet Relief. It's pretty much a basic concept album. Because me being an artist I was and still am, I don't believe in just releasing songs and just releasing singles just to have it, just to go out there. I try to build every single project when I'm doing from song to actually have a purpose. I don't believe in filler music to where it just has a simple song someone plays just to fill in the void. Sweet Relief itself is going to be a period of time between my youngest years to where I'm currently at now. Those topics and concepts pretty much consist of being used personally, whether physically, financially, and mentally. Pretty much dealing with your own, self-inflictions where you feel like you're not good enough as a person. Obviously, with the first track, Into the Abyss, it's pretty much the underground version for myself of my being coming from under the ground and showing who I actually am as an artist. It's going to, as far as feature work, the latest feature I have released to the public is Parasite with Kung Fu Vampire and Twisted Insane. That one itself displays pretty much a point of view of where the last person I was, pretty much where I was when my ex-fiance where which burned me. And I mentally have been scarred for that for many, many years. And I use that pretty much passion as far as music to get that aggression out pretty much as a venting point. Because I use it to pretty much bring positivity from negative situations. As far as that project itself, I also have another one with Lex the Hex Master, Operation Wake the Dead. That essentially is metaphorically for the dead itself is to be listeners and people with a fan base who are just like null and void for listening to music these days, but letting it not really soak in. They're just so infatuated with the small streaming musics. So pretty much at this point, I'm just looking forward to the actual release of itself. It's going to definitely be different. You're going to hear a lot of rock influence stuff. I'm going to have my engineer, Joshua Holland at Greenlight Studio. He does a lot of post-production stuff. I have my main engineer for the project, Grant Clements. He is the major, pretty much one of my head producers. Parasite itself was done by Ronald, DMK. He did the most production for it as far as the bass. Josh did most of the rock and guitar riffs. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the project itself, and I'm hoping everyone likes it when it's done. And yeah.
I think they will. I think it'll be a really good project when it drops. I think a lot of people will like it. The production value behind your music is top notch. I mean, you put a lot of.
I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. You put a lot of work into it. You put a lot of time and money into it. You focus on it and spend a lot more than most do. So I mean, and I don't just mean money. I mean time mainly and effort and you know you bleed into that music and it shows through your music. So keep doing what you're doing. The new song Parasite is absolutely amazing. I think the fans who have heard it so far would agree. The ones who haven't, you need to check it out. It is an amazing track. As Lyrizone said, it has Kung Fu Vampire and Twisted Insane on it, and it can be, you know, checked out where? Where can they check that out at?
As far as the song itself, you can check it out right now on Spotify. It's pretty much ready to go. It's as soon as you type in Lyrizone, Lyrizone, that's on Spotify. I pretty much have it everywhere at this point as far as streaming. It's on iTunes. We have it also on SoundCloud. YouTube made their own little music portion for it. I actually had Jade the Nightmare actually do a lyric video for pretty much the previous The Intrusion track. She's also going to be doing one very soonly for Parasite as well. But you pretty much can find Parasite anywhere right now.
Awesome. Well, you heard it from the man himself there, folks. Pick it up. It is Lyrizone Parasite featuring Twisted Insane and Kung Fu Vampire. Awesome track. Make sure you check out his other tracks like The Intrusion. Everything else that's out there right now, pick it up, listen to it. It deserves to be heard. It deserves to be spread around. And quick side note, you mentioned Jade the Nightmare. She was our last guest on the show. If you haven't checked that show out, please give it a listen. We had a great interview, a lot of good conversations. We got very philosophical on the last show, talking about some crazy shit that I'm going to kind of tap into tonight with you. But no, she is awesome, and she does a great job not only on the music side, but also the art side in the videos. So if you are an artist out there, or you're knowing someone that needs artistic work done on videos for lyric videos, she does the above normal lyric videos. There's a lot of depth to it. Some people just put the lyric videos out. I put a lot of basic lyric videos out, and that's okay. I mean, it serves a certain purpose. But she goes a little bit above and beyond and makes it kind of a thrill ride. So it's almost a cross between an actual music video and a lyric video. And it's something that if you are an artist, you should probably pick up. She's got great prices, and you can check her out. That's Jade the Nightmare. And you can also listen to her interview last week on the show by going to our Spreaker.com app. So make sure you check that out as well. We kind of jumped into some questions on her show together, and I usually wait a little bit, but we'll jump into it right now. What is the one thing that you've done that you don't regret doing, but that you would never do again?
I will probably, since I'm still not a veteran at this, I haven't hit that point just yet. But I will say one thing I regret doing starting off right now is pretty much getting too many people put their hands in the pocket and too much people actually influencing my sound instead of actually perfecting and goldenizing what I actually have. It got to the point where I had 15 people tell me what's good and what's not, and then I started basing off their opinion instead of actually going by mine. Especially now I'm building my own sound back up again to where I know what I want people to recognize me as instead of somebody else. But I guess the answer to your question in general is I haven't hit that point just yet.
Okay, I mean, and then each person has to get there at their own time and their own level, and it's there's a lot of things I look back on that I maybe would have done differently that don't necessarily regret it, like I said, but probably wouldn't do it again. Just a lot of different experiences in life, especially with the music, and as you do it longer and longer, and the road that it can take you on, especially when you travel and do just countless shows, some of the things you encounter, the situations, the things that are presented to you, the whole experience is quite a interesting thing. So you have to live it, and you have to look back at it and say, there were some things I wouldn't have done the same way again, but you know what, I'm okay with doing it the way I did because it ultimately made me who I am.
Exactly. This, for people who are actually listening to this and artists in general and just starting out, this is not for the thin skins. If you think, this is going to be a really easy thing to get into, you are wrong. You will probably burn more than you will find the gold. But in the end, if you keep on driving to what your morals are and your moral compass, and you stay true to yourself, you will succeed. At least that's
Absolutely.
my.
No, the more determination you have and the drive that you have and not giving up and you just keep pushing like a son of a bitch and you don't stop. And you just go and go and go. It seems endless sometimes, but then you hit certain peaks where you kind of fly through the portal and all of a sudden, boom, you're a lot further than you just were. And it seems like it happened in a split second. And then you kind of are slowed down again in the sludge and you're walking through the swamp and you're going real slow, and it just feels like you're never going to get through it. But then you end up hitting that pocket where you can kind of run again. And it goes in waves like that. And a lot of people can't make it through the swamp to see the meadow. You know, they get stuck in the middle and they can't do it any further. And that's a shame because there's a lot of great talent out there that's quit before it's time. But at the same time, I feel if you can't make it through that hardship, then maybe this wasn't meant for you anyways. Anyone can make
Exactly.
music, but if you want to do this as something you do it on a daily basis, you pretty much can't quit on anything.
You can't take good and bad. You can't just take one side because that's not how it goes.
That is not how it goes, not at all. So what is your plans coming up as far as can we expect to see Lyrizone playing some shows in your area, doing any type of
Yes. Me and I actually stopped by for. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I actually spent the 4th of July actually traveling all the way up to Yakima. I pretty much spent time with my brother. Did some promo stuff, which if everyone's seen from Brutal Business, we did some promo videos for the new anthem from the Asylum album that just came out on 30th. We pushed that out. We also have some pictures we got done. We're also, me and him, we were talking more, and we're probably going to look to do some shows together very soon. Right now, I want to get a certain track list pretty much made up. I think we have about 2 songs shy. Then I think pretty much him and me are going to link up and go do some shows around the whole Washington state. That's one cool thing I'm looking forward to. But as far as music in general, I know you guys probably already noticed already, but every Halloween, about 2 years ago, I started doing Halloween tracks pretty much to release as far as a tradition. This year will be no different. This year itself will be Night of the Brain Dead Zombies featuring the Joker. That song will be coming out on Halloween nights. That's going to be something guaranteed you guys are going to have. We're going to polish that up in the next couple weeks and pretty much get that ready for you guys. But yeah, as far as singles, I will have to keep that in the vault and not tell you guys just yet because I want to surprise everyone. But as far as that goes, yeah, there's going to be plenty of movement in the next couple months. So you guys are not going to stop seeing me ever.
Yeah, in your face. So if you haven't seen him yet, you will see him soon. If you have seen him, you will continue to do so. So that is great. Keep pushing it, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, it's nice to see, you doing your thing, you getting out there, you're making some noise, and you haven't even begun yet, so to speak. So there's a lot more for you to experience soon, and we're going to get you there. We're very happy to have him on Brutal Business, and we're very happy to be collaborating with him. And a lot of great music to come, folks. So make sure you check out his music, give him a share, give him a like, and follow him on his different social media platforms. That is how you will hear everything you need to hear, or you can check him out on www.teambrutalbusiness.com, teambrutalbusiness.com. That'll give you all your Brutal Business needs and updates with all of our different platforms on the label, and you can certainly check out Lyrizone and all his links on that site as well.
Absolutely.
So how was your 4th of July?
It was very eventful. Me and my girlfriend went to see the new Spider-Man movie. We enjoyed it.
Okay.
But besides that, spending about 6 hours on the road to pretty much Yakima and back, we barely made it on time, but we had a very, very good road trip. It was very peaceful, very quiet, clear skies. Couldn't expect better weather.
Good. No, that's what I like to hear. The internet, I think, must have cut out a little bit earlier, just during 1 second, and I wanted to recap back on it. We heard your story about going to Yakima, but we did not catch who it is that you linked up with, which I know personally was Trouble, our homie on Brutal Business. So for the folks listening out there, if you missed that portion of the story, he traveled yesterday to go see one of our other Brutal Business brethren in Yakima, and they hung out for the day and linked up, and they got some plans coming up to hit some shows. So if you are over on the West Coast, make sure you check that out. There is some great stuff coming for you. I'm jealous. I wish I could see some of their shows. I wish I could be on some of their shows, but not just yet.
Oh yeah, it's like I can't wait to meet the whole team, especially from the East Coast. But I was really ecstatic to meet Trouble yesterday. Very solid dude, especially his work as well.
I think I'm losing you
Killer
again a
graph.
little bit there. We just lost you for a second. It seems like it's on your phone because I'm still getting signal full bars here, but I lost a little bit of it, so it might just be going in and out a little bit.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, I hear you a little bit
Hopefully.
better now.
Okay, cool. But I linked up with him pretty much to just talk to him, pretty much do some vocal stuff. Pretty much he's a very solid dude, very all around great person, good personality. I'm ecstatic to have him as a freaking label mate. He's awesome. But pretty much going forward, I just can't wait to work further with him because his energy and mine, it's going to be crazy on stage. I just can't wait.
No, I think it really will be. He definitely is dope at what he does. He has a great style, great sound, and overall great guy. So I'm glad to see you guys linking up and working together. It's important to strengthen that bond between the members of the family, and you guys are certainly doing that. And look forward to some of the fun things that we've been talking about, folks. We all see in some of these interviews like this, it's always fun because we know each other, behind the scenes. But we don't always get to talk like this, so it's fun for me to get to interview him and get you some information on who he is as an artist. Me to always dive deeper into my friend's mind and hear a little bit about what's going on. But some of the stuff we know behind the scenes already, so it's always interesting to do an interview like this. But we do have a lot of fun entertainment and music and things coming your way from Lyrizone, from Trouble, from the whole team.
Yes, absolutely.
So, any fun plans coming up for yourself, and whether it be music, whether it be personal, anything big coming up for the summer? I know it is summer right now, and I don't know about over in Washington, but it has been blazing over here. We've been getting
It's
scorched.
actually pretty hot. It's pretty ridiculously hot out here. I think we just got like 100 degrees, 115. So it feels like the heat index is getting way too hot, especially for the West Coast. I mean, it's not like California hot, but it's still pretty hot. But as far as like music wise goes, I actually just got some stuff back from Grant Clements yesterday. You guys are actually going to hear it. I might post a clip to it Instagram. As far as going forward for all my fans and listeners, if you go to Instagram, you'll most likely will hear all my production snippets and little fun peeks and features that you won't see anywhere else, not Facebook or anything like that. Because I mostly keep Instagram for my on-the-moment recordings. Facebook's more the after you guys get the more production type stuff, more finalization. Instagram, you'll pretty much get where I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the clips to where I got this female vocalist who just did this opera vocal as far as lead for my track. She just came back in 1 day and 24 hours. She killed her freaking performance.
She did. I heard that. That was phenomenal.
Yeah. So like I said, for my artistry, I don't stick with just one style. But a horrorcore genre itself, I can go from rock to opera to metal to just regular boom bap to something that's really, really more different styled. As you guys can tell from my last album, For Parasite, I Had Nowhere to Hide, which was released back in March. That one was more of a rock fluence as far as the very far end, as far as distortion in the chorus, but had the more unique paranoid type sound or the more 80s, rhythm that you would. But it was a really good sounding song. But as far as going forward, you guys probably going to see me do a lot more clips on Instagram as far as production because I want to go ahead and wrap this album up very soon. I'm not going to give you guys an exact month on it because I want to go ahead and give you guys the polished product. I don't want to give something that's half-ass because I think everyone deserves it better than that. But what you guys will get for Sweet Relief will be a hard copy album. It'll be pretty much all the way through. I will have merch packages for the first 15 customers who actually go through by the hard copy. With the merch, it will come with stickers from Brutal Business stickers to Lyrizone stickers. You will have a poster, a signed poster itself, so pretty much autographed. You will have pretty much a whole, pretty much bundle deal that you probably won't get anytime else or anywhere else for any other album for itself. I just want you guys to be patient, and also for what's going on very shortly as far as collaborations. You will probably see a lot of Brutal Business collaborations going forward. Me and Trouble are probably going to knock out a couple songs in probably the next couple months. And yeah, just keep your eyes open.
Absolutely. We got a lot of fun things coming your way soon. Got a few comments that are coming in I want to catch up on. We do have Jay the Nightmare saying, shout out to Lyrizone. She has had the opportunity to work with you on various visual projects, and all-around talented artist. And then
Thank
Brandon
you,
Shelton said he needs to bring his ass back home and see the homies.
I feel you, Brandon. I feel you. See, that's the thing too, is that especially with music wise, my bros already know I'm constantly into this. So it's 9 times out of 10 the issue because they always want to link up and I'm either recording or I'm at home trying to write material. That's just how I was growing up. So usually when I went out, it was a very rare occasion. So I'm definitely going back to my bros sometime soon. Brand, I promise I'll be there soon. I just want to make sure I get these tied loose ends knocked out as far as music, and when I go back home I have something to show for it, because when leaving South Carolina itself, I had pretty much the grind mode cipher. I had pretty much the Project Leviathan team I was with at the time. When I came out from here from Washington, I had to start from brand new all over again to pretty much go from building the image back up to getting my logos redesigned, getting my whole sound reinvigorated. So at this point, I think we're ready to go. So once I bring it back, the family's gonna know I'm there.
Now, is the ultimate plan to stay in Washington, or is it to come back this way?
I think I'm going to visit you guys as far as the Brutal business and visit you guys as far as doing shows, but I think my home is Washington.
That's fun. It's a beautiful state. It's an absolute wonderful place. I've been there and I love it.
It's just really nice as far as like, I love just either going West Coast, you can stay over here, deal with the shore, see the water. Then if you want to go East Coast, see more of the mountains. South, pretty much its own geographical location and stuff like that. But it's really nice here. I love it. I won't miss it for the world.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I've been over there. Me and my wife actually last year on vacation went to Seattle and went to the Cascade Mountains, and we stayed in a cabin at the base of the one mountain in the Cascade Mountains. And when you walked out on the back porch, the mountain was right there, and you looked down, and it was just us. It was secluded. It was pine trees everywhere, ginormous pine trees.
It's a beautiful view.
It was a beautiful deal, and it was just so serene and something like out of a fucking storybook. And I felt like at that moment I was a king, and it was a good feeling. When you're on vacation, that's what we all want. You want to feel free, you want to be, happy and relaxed, and you want to just feel like a king. And that's how I felt. So if you've never been to Washington, folks, go do it. Go there and have a good time. That and Colorado are my two favorite places that I've ever been in my life, and I've been in a lot of places. I think I would pick Colorado first, but I do like Washington a lot. You ever been to Colorado, bro?
I haven't yet. I was actually talking to my girlfriend about that, and she was like, well, we should pretty much knock our stuff out here and then move there. I was like, I like Washington so far. Like going from South Carolina to where it's completely hot 24/7, and I guess the way Patrick or 9-Stitch Method Rooster would claim it, swamp ass is the realness there, so it's constantly hot. But as far as more South Carolina, it was just really humid. But here, like I said, you get the mountains. You can, especially from where I'm at, outside my actual place, you can see the mountains itself. It's just a gorgeous view. You can drive to pretty much Mount Hood. It's like about half an hour to 45 minutes away, about an hour and a half away, Mount St. Helens. So it's pretty much a very, very geographically, I guess, eye-inspiring moment, because you can just go out there and just enjoy it. It's just something you can never see again. It's just really nice.
It really is. It's beautiful, and like I said, have you ever been to?
I'll definitely go to Denver sometime soon, because everybody's telling me Denver's really nice. I think
it is. I like Denver. I just like Colorado as a whole. I mean, going and seeing the Garden of the Gods, Red Rock Amphitheater, Buffalo Bill's grave, all the cool things that they have in that area of Colorado Springs and Denver, Colorado. It was beautiful, and like I said, I've been several different places, but that place felt like home. And every other place I've ever visited or went on vacation on felt nice. I enjoyed being there. I liked it, but never felt like, okay, I could live here. When we went to Colorado a few years back, me and my wife both agreed, we're like, we could live here. I just love it. The air, the mountains, the hiking, the fishing, just my type of place to be.
Oh, yeah, because I think I want to see about last year. I think Playboy the Beast was actually talking about moving back there, and he was posting videos and snippets of him actually being there, and it looked amazing. I could tell just by the video itself, the air must have been clean, because there's literally no civilization whatsoever. It's more secluded, which is one thing. Me personally, as a person, I grew up between New Jersey, from Hackensack, then Patterson, then South Carolina, then over here. I had a little bit of best of both worlds as far as urban and pretty much rural area. I will say, personally, I don't know if I'm just getting older, but I prefer the rural, because one, you can get more self-centered, and you can pretty much just get your own mindset and just be wrapped up in your own what you want to take care of. And it's just so, I guess, visually pleasing. Where if, I guess, in the cities itself, it's good to stay on your hustle and stay on your grinds, but in the end, you want to find something you can just find your leisure and just relax and just ease back with.
Yeah, living in a city is not for me either. I've lived in downtown Pittsburgh. Well, not downtown. I lived in the South Side, but still equal to that. It's just nonstop chaos. And I've been, secluded where I originally grew up. So it's something I've experienced both sides. I'm definitely a rural or even secluded type guy before city. I'm not a fan of being around a million people. And yes, there's a lot of things to do and all that, but I don't mind driving or traveling to something if I want to go do it. I like being far enough away that I'm away from it. I can relax, but I'm close enough that I can get there. I've lived, in that chaos for a couple years, and that's more than enough for me. I would never want to do that again. Couldn't imagine being in New York City and living like downtown New York.
No, I lived there with my family, and I was like, I can't do this no more. I literally, either when I had the option from moving to South Carolina, move here or move Jersey, I was like, I'm gonna pretty much go out west. Now, mind you, it's a little more financially different as far as the change itself, because East Coast and West Coast two different lifestyles completely. But as far as just being in the populated area to where you have to always like try to compete with somebody else, out here you still have competition, but you have way to move. I feel there it was just really compressed, and I was always on edge there. And I was like, I'd rather not. Here I can actually get my roots in the soil and take care of what I got to take care of.
There's certainly a pitch and a shift when you cross from the East Coast to the West, and it's like an unsung thing. You walk around, it's great. I love it over there, but the people are different, the feel is different, the air is different. It just feels different, and it's really crazy if you pay attention and take the time to notice it, how much different it feels in atmosphere and around you, in your environment by just simply being over there.
Exactly. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good and pros and cons, but I mean, in the end, it just depends on what your personality acquires and what it asks for. And I
It
think
is.
personally, I love it out here.
Yeah, see, and I love it, but I don't think I could live out there. So like I'm the opposite. I'm East Coast all the way. So it's like I like the West Coast. It's beautiful. I think it's great, but I just wouldn't care to live there. Colorado, you start to be a little bit more inward. So I mean that's a possibility, even the Midwest. But I don't know if I could go the whole way over there. Like I visited California, wasn't that big of a fan of it. Honestly, it was nice. It was pretty and everything, but it wasn't what I originally envisioned in my mind. Which I know I shouldn't do that, but I did. I visited Arizona. Arizona's pretty cool, but definitely a place I would never want to live. That's brutal. For anybody who lives in
I
Arizona,
had family
God
who live
bless
there,
you.
and it was just way too hot. It's way too hot there. The pizza is trash. Let me emphasize, the pizza is trash. It's not good. But pretty much, it's way too hot there. It's very dry. From what I remember going, I went there like last year. It was only for like a couple of days, but I just did not like it. And mind you, it was not raining, but it just felt really dry. And I was like, I'll
Yeah,
pass.
it's extremely dry. When we were there years ago, it was like 8 years ago. I remember the day that we left to come back. It was 114 degrees, and you could crack an egg on the sidewalk, and it could cook it. It was blazing. I mean, it was like I never felt heat like that. No humidity, just straight boiling like laser beam heat. And everything's brown, everything's dry, it's flat, and I'm just like, fuck this place. Like, it's God bless you, Arizona. It was cool to visit you, but fuck that. If you live in Arizona, God bless you. Like I said, you're a certain type of person.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Mars, but I felt like freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger when I stepped outside the actual pleasant. My skin started boiling and I busted in flames. It's kind of what I feel like. It's freaking too hot. Fuck that.
Well, they got misters on the outside of stores there, so like, and it's so weird because I'm used to going to malls and like walking inwards into a building and being on the inside of the building and walking around to the shops. When I came over there and they're all plazas and everything's on the outside, so it's store by store by store, and you walk in outside like on a patio area. They have misters out there misting you to keep you cooled down. I'm like, this is some next level crazy right now. Like I'm getting misted before I go into the store so I don't melt and die in it. You know what I mean? Like when have I ever seen a mister over here? You ain't got no misters. It's 90 degrees and it's humid as fuck. You can't breathe. And no one does anything about it. You just suffer. Over there they got misters to cool you down, sprinklers everywhere, and still nothing grows.
Ain't that some shit?
Ain't that some shit? Now let's jump back into it.
Cool.
Who you've worked with a lot of really good artists, a lot of big names, and put out what I feel is quality, top-notch product every single time.
Thank
Every
you.
single track you put out is very solid, very well put together. The production value, like I said earlier, is outstanding. what is your plans? And I mean, you don't have to give away anything that you might be working on coming up to release if you've already worked with someone, but who haven't you worked with right now that you have your eye on that you're like, you know what, I need to collaborate with them? Who is someone that, it's within your reach, and then who is someone without? So give me two different, prospects there.
Someone who's in my reach right now. I want to for the next project. I want Axe on the project. I love their sound and their style. I pretty much since I freaking first heard their first album, I've been pretty much stuck listening to them and always wanted to work with them. As far as people out of my reach, right now, Chris Calico is probably one of the artists I want to work with as far as a bucket list. One, I just love his style. He can pretty much go from anything from just multi-syllable chopping. He can do something very, very old school style, boom bap type style. He sings, he raps. The guy is an animal. Met him when I did pretty much was going to Tech Nine's Something Else tour. Met him face to face. He's a cool dude. But I knew it's going to take me pretty much scrapping as much as possible musically to even see him eye to eye, to even talk to him about feature. But that's one bucket list. But you guys can expect pretty much Axe on the next project.
That's awesome. They're a great group. I've had my eyes on them for years, watching them, and I knew that they had a certain sound and look and feel to them that very well could be big if presented correctly. And they were getting bigger and bigger and more buzz, and I knew it was coming. I knew I could feel it. And then they were playing The Gathering last year, and I had seen them. I was there, and I remember being absolutely shit-faced hammered and by myself at this point. It was late ass in the night, second stage, and I went and stood in the middle of that crowd, in the middle of that gravel parking lot, and they came on and killed it. I mean, they absolutely killed it. That was an outstanding performance by them, and right then and there, I just was like, wow, these dudes are going to be huge.
Exactly.
And it was like 3 weeks later, Twisted signed them, and I'm like, all right, okay, I didn't see that coming exactly, but I'm like, that's pretty cool.
But yeah,
so
they have talent
to them.
Yeah, they freaking got talent, man. I mean, especially for their style, they can switch up, do whatever they want to at this point. But I mean, they're literally, especially with their last album, like the production skill was there. I feel like their quality just gonna get better over time.
It does, and they're great live. I played with them a couple times at this point. They're really good performers. They're good dudes. Bullshit with them a little bit. Very kind. They're professional. So they have the whole package. I mean, when you have the look, the sound, the professionalism, and the fun characteristic that people want to hang out with you because, hey, they're fun guys. And that's the cool thing is you can be a great artist, but if you're kind of sheltered and distant, it only goes so far. They want to know who you are, and they want to meet you, and they want to kind of hang out. It's the whole presence, which is going to bring us into a question that we're going to talk about here in a second. But they want to find out who you are as more than just the voice. They want to find out who you are as the character, as the person. And Axe does that. When they go to shows, they interact with the crowd. They're a part of the crowd. They become a festive, fun thing that becomes more than just music. And when you know how to sell that is when you really start to make an impact.
Absolutely.
Now, we talked about last show, and it's kind of an odd thing that I thought about whenever I was on the show with Jade the Nightmare, which was people create characters in their mind of who a musical artist is, but when you think about it, with all other forms of most artistic expression, you don't. When I look at a painting, I think, wow, it's a beautiful painting. I don't think I know the life of what that person who painted it's like. I read a book by an author, I like their book, and it's amazing, but I don't sit there and say, I know who they are as a person. Same thing with sports or any other type of thing that you're doing it's a passion out there. You don't usually make assumptions of who that character is just off of that expression, but when comes to music, I don't know if it's just me, if everybody else is doing it too, but when you listen to an artist's music and you really dive into it, you start to almost create some type of character in your mind of who that person is. And it's interesting that you only do it with that.
Definitely.
Very unique. I mean, have you ever thought of that? Did you ever think of listen to X example, you listen to their music, you listen to their albums, you listen and start to get to know them individually as an artist and what their sound is like, their lyricism patterns are like, and you start to kind of piece together who that character is as a person. Meanwhile, when you meet them, they could be 180 degrees different than that.
Yes, which is actually pretty funny you state this, because I'm going to go ahead and take this back to when I first met Joshua Holland at Greenlight Studios. When I had pretty much sent him to production of what the track I want to do at the first time was The Intrusion. The Intrusion, as everyone pretty much already heard, is a very, very violent track. It's not meant for someone who says, oh, I like to listen to some really, really nice music. No, it's a very, very gruesome, visually deterrent type thing. And when I recorded the first time, he's like, I was not expecting a personality like yours to spit that. And I was like, yeah, because I use this music in myself, like I mentioned earlier, as pretty much a way to get my negative emotions and all my energy and pretty much form it to a different person. Me being the person I am, I'm naturally positive, always going. But when it comes to situations in life, I pretty much keep it and pretty much use it toward music as a way of showing the fucked up side to side that no one wants to talk about. Because either itself, everyone's like, okay, well, I'm not going to go ahead and talk about this one situation because it's not really worth to be talked about. So no, it's just insecurity and it's just making you feel really bad. So as far as the personality itself, I like to shape pretty much as what Jade mentioned last interview. I take all my surrounding bad energy and try to form it into something that's really positive, and if it's more of a therapy session for myself. So I guess the character itself, whoever when someone listens to it, they say, oh, well, this is a really, really interesting track. That's exactly mostly how I think. Either I can get my political views on that way, I can put some aggression toward that way, I can actually just be honest and be conscious on when I'm rapping. It's is exactly most likely 9 times out of 10 how I physically feel.
It's good to be able to pour your emotions and your feelings into your music, and the thing is, it comes out in different ways. Not everything you write can be beautiful, not everything you write can be dark. I mean, if it is, then you're kind of selling yourself short, but you have to put your expressions, your emotions, your energies into the music, and sometimes it comes out as an awesome track that everyone can enjoy. Sometimes it comes out as something that only very specific people can enjoy, and they're like, damn, that was a little intense, but I like it, because they feel that way too. So those energies connect, and when you pour that energy into the music, it helps let someone else pour that same energy into the music when they listen to it. It gives us the different emotions. It gives us the joy. It gives us the anger, the sadness, all the different emotions that we like to hear when we listen to certain types of music. And if you're an artist who puts your emotions truly into your music, then that kind of shows from it. If you're someone that's just writing music to write a hit, unfortunately, it loses that appeal.
Yeah, you have to always look for the quality of your audience. I don't try to look for quantity. Yeah, views and look for listeners and huge top listeners, one thing. But I want someone who can listen to the song, come back 3 years later and say, man, this song really actually helped. I was going through some similar shit that you went through, and it actually kind of got my mind a different perspective and pretty much put me to where I could feel a little more eased at mind right now. I'd rather have that one person tell me that than 15 people say, hey, man, that was a dope track, and never listen to that song ever again. That's just the way I am.
No, I mean, that's what we do it for. You do it for, the fans that truly feel it, they truly love it, and those one person. I mean, ICP said it, I wouldn't trade one Juggalo for 100 Main Street fans, and I wouldn't trade one Juggalo for 100,000 Main Street fans, because one Juggalo is priceless. Now, the same type of concept, when you have a true fan, a true diehard soldier of a fan, you can't trade that for just 100 people, 1,000 people that just feel like, oh man, you have dope music. Well, that's cool. You got dope. I got dope music, But if someone that feels that and says, man, you touched my life, like you changed me, that right there is what I personally do it for, and what a lot of people do it for, because there's no greater feeling in the world than that.
Exactly. It's a pure, genuine, pretty much a pleasure to yourself. You're like, man, I really made actual impression in my life, because you only get so many years. No one freaking lives forever. It'd be a fucking bullshit theory to think you do, unless if you believe in that theory of more of your energy being passed on, then that's a totally different story. Probably apply to your next podcast. But pretty much at this point, I mean, everything's energy. I want to always apply what I have right here and what I can do physically and try to do the best I can to help someone else out.
Absolutely. You get several planes to play in life, and this is this plane that we're on now, and you might as well use the best of it, have fun while you're here, do some good things, and then, take that with you when you go, take that energy with you, as you said, which does kind of apply to my next podcast. And that's actually a good segue into that real quick. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a show coming out later this month that is my brand new podcast that I'll be doing with my partner, Daniel James. He is the videographer behind all my music videos, if you've seen them. He's an awesome actor and entrepreneur, and I'm very excited to be on the show with him and making a show with him. And it's going to be called Celestial Oddities, Pair of Normal Guys, and it is a paranormal podcast. We talk about everything from ghosts, demonic spirits, cryptozoology, ufology, shadow people, you name it, we are going to talk about it, and different bizarre things that people have experienced and seen. It's going to be kind of a unique show, twice a month, as I said. Once a month, it'll be me and Daniel together on the show, talking specific topics, taking on phone calls, talking to people, and answering their questions. And then once a month, it'll be me featuring callers around the world who have had different experiences and kind of telling us about what they experienced, and me giving my take on that. So be watching out for that. More details to come soon. And we hope that you enjoy the show and, can be a part of it. There's a lot of really bizarre things out there that can't be explained. And the more knowledge and facts that we put together, the greater research you can do on it. It's something I've always been fascinated in. So if you are fascinated with something like that, check it out.
Me personally, I'm looking forward to, because as one of the tracks on the actual album is actually Shadow People, and I am a firm believer in that shit. And I actually have a couple of main points I'm probably going to make I go to Instagram tonight, just talk about that too as well, because I'm going to start working on that track next and finish that up. But that's something I'm looking forward to. I'll probably be hitting you up via social media and staying up to date on it, because I like that kind of stuff. It keeps your mind going. It doesn't keep you in more of a box state of mind. You always keep your eyes to whatever is pretty much someone else's theory, someone else thinks. Take their input, build off of yours. It seems really interesting.
It really is, and I mean, I've dove deep into the rabbit hole, and I've really researched and read and just experienced a lot of different ideas and theories, and it's amazing. Do I believe in them all? Absolutely not. Do I believe in a good portion of different things that I've read about? Yes. And I know that it's, he believes in this and that. That's crazy. But I think the world is a lot bigger than we come to realize and think about. And it seems small, at the same time seeming big, but either way, it's very big. And there's a lot of different things that we don't understand that are around us. And I've seen some things that are certainly unexplained that, whether you believe me or not, I could give two fucks. I'm going to give my experience and tell people about it. I'm going to take on their calls. Some people could be bullshit, and that's true. And I had a couple people tell me that. How do you know they're not going to be lying? They could be. But we're going to hear what people have to say, because I believe that there's still, a majority of the people telling the truth, telling their experiences, or at least how they've seen it. And we get to kind of see the different things that are out there. So many different strange stories that I've read about different cryptids, which are things like Bigfoot, the Dog Man of Pennsylvania, Mothman, all the different things that are out there that people have seen in the woods. Yes, I think a lot of it is bullshit, but I do agree that I think a lot of it has to be based on some type of truth.
What do you believe in? Have you ever heard of dogma, perchance?
Yes.
That was one thing I was actually reading up when I was back in high school, and I was actually really in depth of actually researching that and learning more about it, because I was like, okay, that's pretty fucked up.
It draws you in, man. It does, because there is some crazy things out there, and you are too small-minded to believe that there's only us in this world and there's nothing else. There's no aliens. There's no other type of weird creatures that we might not know about. There's no other type of portals and dimensions. You believe that we're just the only thing on Earth. We're just the cream of the crop king shit, and that's it. Then that's cool if people believe in that, but that's ridiculous to me. Exactly.
That's just, I don't want to make it feel like that's ignorant for them saying that, but pretty much I feel like if they just believe in nothing, like there has to be it has their philosophical thoughts. I'm not going to ever bash anybody for what they believe, because what the fuck I believe in might not mean the same thing either. It might not mean shit. I might be fucking wrong too as well. But to feel like there's pretty much nothing, there's no intelligence, we're pretty much just on a fucking rock and nothing outside this like existence is it. No. I don't think so. I think if we really originally can't actually leave this planet and go like fucking years and years away. It's not the fucking Orville. We can't just take a freaking spaceship and start driving across the fucking galaxy. But if we do, we might see some shit, and then who knows? But back to your questions.
Absolutely. We got sidetracked there, folks, because as you see, talking about the spirits and great beyond and things like that can really tie you up. It's fascinating. Too much fun. Well, we're going to jump back to a quick topic that I wanted to kind of touch base on. You mentioned The Intrusion, and obviously an awesome track, one of my absolute favorites from you, and you have some great features. Tell us what the features are on this track, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into it and let the folks hear it.
Awesome. It goes by, we have Gruesome on it. That's on the first verse. Then we have Dubs. Dubs does the chorus and the second verse. The third is me. And the fourth verse is Mars. I think personally it's one of my favorite tracks on the actual album itself. Because I think the vibe, we all pretty much were in tune with the actual track. Our styles were different, but it all came together. Because 9 times out of 10, when you do a feature for an album or someone does something, it might be a little off place. It was really, really difficult to have a track that you think, oh, it just sounds perfect for the track. I think everyone went together on it. It sounded perfect. And I'm going to let everyone who listens to it now give their own interpretation of it. I think you'll enjoy it. If you don't, if it's an acquired taste, everyone has a different feeling toward it. But hope you guys like it.
Well, here it is. This is The Intrusion by Lyrizone here on Uncovering the Underground. We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, yo, dressed in all black in the dark, camouflaged by the night. All the lights in the house are off now, and I'm grabbing onto my knife. The back door is unlocked, my mask is on, I'm inside. My freezer needs to be stocked, I'm stabbing all who's inside. So I move in, scan all the rooms. She's all alone, like I assume she's dying soon, but not too quick. I'ma take my time, I'm in a violent mood. Raid the kitchen, fuck buying food. Don't need the meat, she'll supply it soon. I'm on a diet, it's skinny bitches. I'm eating healthier, I'm trying to. She never stood a chance, she never stood up. After I severed vertebrae, red was squirting, her death was certain. Obsessed with murdering every person, don't ever trust me. I bet I'm worse than the best immersion. Expert working in the field of bringing death to persons, but I murk 'em. Watch me put on a clinic, I did it for all who dig it. Nothing but raw, explicit, a visually scarring image. What makes you want to live in that body? You're non-existent. Let me put this knife in your skin and take you to a level we all will visit. Seen her at the back of the corridor, wishing that she had some boarded doors, but of course it was too late, and I already chose her fate. Closed that gate, seen that fear all up on her face, until her brain sprayed from a flawless blade. Sick-minded, demented, that I mentioned, bipolar, prone to get vengeance. Feeling happy deep down when I hear the chainsaw start with a red like brin brin. And I really wanna end it, but I've been caught up putting little kids in detention. It's so easy to me, like a sixth sense in the river, bodies get tossed like a pigskin. She was deep asleep when I went into a room and got beneath the sheets. I just spooned her, I just laid next to her in the bed, shaking while I beat my meat. I'm just lonely, I just want somebody to hold me while I'm rubbing it and meat to ski. It's okay, babe, I don't really wanna hurt you, I wanna coerce you to be with me. She wasn't into it, I guess, cause she tried to run up out of the room, but I'm quicker than a bitch. She got thrown back quick like a Michelin S, took the knife and I stuck it to her chest. Didn't really wanna take it here, babe, but it seems like we can never make this right. So I plunged it in and it pulled it out, the blood spray while I trained her life.
Your doors down, I bet you wish to
triggered in the face, but the fetish much better when I get a little taste. I peeled off in the raw, in the all fashion. Never try screaming, that shit ain't lasting. Inside my brain is a slaughterhouse. You never even know till the organs out. As I fiddle with the liver, I'ma watch you shiver like my lips to the sight of you all strung out. Slick cocaine, if I can take my thoughts from the pencil. Better keep it broad unlocked. What I'm into is far from the mental. Nibble and guts to these high-strung sluts. Ain't no double these hoes, don't you know that? Snapping the body up on an old school Kodak. Guess I get the highlight deep in the snuff film. Bust on my neck, the side of their blood spill. Wish you gave me that chance, but now I'm too hostile. Too far gone, bending your corpse to the spine goes a sign, yo. Swear I don't even know where my mind goes. When half the time, what is in my mind is best seen when your eyes close. Eyes close.
I'm on some murder shit. Murder bitches get away with it. Leave a motherfucking bullet wounded, then I play with it. I'm spraying shit. Licking motherfuckers down, ho. And lick up motherfuckers blood up on the ground, bro. This be the sound, ho. I'm from the town, ho. Pittsburgh. Where all the bitches' bodies found, ho. They talk about my spree on TV. They told my mom they wanna see me. See these eyes realize the pain, the lies, the strain. The lies and cries they know, that's why I'm self-inflicted with pain. That's why I fuck with Kane. I'm just like fuck it, man. I pull my motherfucking pistol out in public, man. It's just enough to change. I'm quick to bust my thing. I'm not a load of fucking slug and throw it in your brain. You can't imagine what I've been through. I'll drop the heat and grab my pencil.
And we're back on Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast Show. I'm your host, Skippy Yickham of Brutal Business Entertainment, and that was The Intrusion by Lyrizone, underground rap artist from Washington State. And we've been talking to him, picking his brain, finding out who he is behind the scenes as an artist and as a person. And definitely an awesome track. Great features, great connectivity between all of you as artists, and one hell of a set of features on that track. So kudos to you on that. If you were listening to the song out there, let us know what you think of it on the Instant Messenger through Spreaker Podcast Radio. You can do that on the site or through the app market. Leave some love, leave some hate, whatever. You tell us whatever you're feeling when you listen to that song. And, make sure you check it out. Download and buy his music, buy his merch, and support him as an artist. Awesome track, man. All right, so as I usually ask most of my artists, if your animal could tell a story about you and say who you are as a person, like if they could just tell me what their thoughts of you is, what do you think they would say?
Stop being an asshole and feed me on time. Most likely, 9 times out of 10.
Starving them.
Well, I feed them, but I mean, especially for my dog Sky, when I would feed her, I was like, okay, I'm getting home, I'll feed her, and I give her a little bit, give her some food, because she eats a lot. So I gave her some food. She's like, I want some more. I'm like, I just fucking fed you 5 minutes ago. And she like kicks the bowl toward me. And her main thing when she was getting food, because she got spoiled for a while, again, like the soft food, and I was like, I'm going to give you dry food and see how you do. And she literally kicked the shit over and then stared at me. I'm like, the fuck? And so you try to be really, really bold right now. You ain't getting no damn food.
Yeah, they certainly got personalities on them, that's for sure.
They do. I mean, they're more human than human sometimes.
They are. I'm a huge animal person, and some of the fans out there might be like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't have known that." I love animals. I mean, that's one of my favorite things. I love animals way more than I love people. I am, an advocate for taking care of animals, not abusing them. Fucking anytime I see that type of shit, it pisses me off. Like the things I do to people that I see in some of the articles that I read is just insane. If you only knew. I can't say it on the air, but if you only knew. But yeah, take care of animals. They can't take care of themselves. They're awesome. They got great personalities. They were here before us. They should be here long after us. And unfortunately, we are a plague on this earth and destroying everything.
Mostly trash, unfortunately. Even our bodies itself would decompose is mostly trash. We're not even fucking any use to the fucking global. We don't even decompose properly. I don't know if you actually were looking into it. I think Washington is actually starting it now. They pretty much posted a bill of human decomposition to where they use human bodies and human remains in soil. And I was like, okay, we don't have anything in our fucking body that's nutrients. So not only are you just wasting time, you're destroying the earth. Okay, sounds great. It's fucking stupid.
We are something else. As like a race. We always make movies about enemy aliens coming to our planet and wanting to eradicate us off the face of the earth. And like they're the bad guy.
Now we're good. Turn around. What I seen, they got twerking videos and they got people who don't even. They're literally making vines of being stupid instead of promoting intelligence. Let's turn around. Go somewhere else.
Well, that
we don't want to.
That too. But I'm just saying we portray like all these creatures that come here and take over the earth, and are like they're the bad guy. They're coming here. They're taking over the planet. But really, that's already us. That's when we showed up here. We destroyed it all. We are the bad guy. We are the plague that we play in the movies that is against us. We are that ourselves. And it's a shame. And when you're an animal lover, you see that how many animal races we wipe off the face of the earth because of greed, because we want more money, we want more. Let's put more houses and more and more and more. Let's palm oil. Okay, let's rip down thousands of acres of forest just to make this oil because we can make more and more money off it.
Yeah, just it's very, very self-destructive creatures, unfortunately.
Very self-destructive.
We're that way, but I mean, the 1% try to do the most, but their agenda's not strong enough to where they want to push it, or no one really wants to hear it, which is really sad.
It is really sad. I mean, it's a hell of a thing, and in this day and time, every generation is different, but as time goes on, I think that it does get worse. I don't think it's just something that people say, oh, it's getting worse and worse. It evolves and it changes, so it's always kind of the same, but at the same time, we as a race, I think, are becoming, more dumbed down, and I think that shows in a lot of the music that's out there, and I think that's why when we do hear artists like yourself who are putting out dynamic music, and that's what I try to bring on the show, is people that are putting out something that's edgy, that catches you, that's not the same run-of-the-mill garbage that you hear. It's something fresh. It's a breath of fresh air in a stale scene, and that's what we aim for. But I mean, I think that shows in all of us as like a race as we're getting dumber and dumber. And like I said, we are the plague. That's the hashtag tonight. We are the plague.
I'm watching tonight's Idiocracy. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. Unfortunately, it's a favorite. I wish it wasn't, but it's only a favorite because it applies so closely to our generation and pretty much our time right now, where people are just doing like the smallest things to just find social presence instead of actually earning it. And I mean, let's just go dates back to Einstein. And when he succeeded, like he's the one we talk about for years and years to come. But I mean, everybody wants to talk about the more smaller details and just doing the stupidest things to get noticed. But in the end, like, you want to be noticed for that one stupid thing that no one really even wants to talk about later on in life? Like, I mean, what are you representing with your time?
Yeah, I mean, we do live in a society where it is about the quick now. Like, I can do this and I can be famous for the next month, and then no one will ever remember me again, but that's okay because I was famous quick. Like, you lose integrity to get the quick buzz, the quick likes. Everybody worried now about how many likes they have. Everybody's worried about how many followers they have. But at the end of the day, who cares? I don't care if you have 100 likes. There's guys with 100 likes on Facebook that you've never heard of that'll destroy the guys with 100,000 likes on Facebook, and vice versa. It doesn't matter how many likes someone has. Maybe they just don't have the right tools to push their career and get it out there. But maybe they have the passion. And people, I think, overlook that. As soon as you look on a page on Facebook, you start scrolling, as soon as you see an artist with 400 likes on it, most of the time you just keep going. You're like, yeah, there ain't that many people listening to them. They're probably not that good. And that's a horrible way to think because you don't know, that could be the next best thing you've ever heard.
Exactly. But unfortunately, I try to keep my eyes open as much as possible and try to stay completely, like, I guess, non-biased. But 9 times out of 10, I kind of, unfortunately, I'm a little, I guess I'm biased in a certain way because either I like someone, like I'll find someone that has barely just started out, maybe 100, 200 likes, maybe, as far as, because likes now are self-validation, if you will. I don't believe in that shit. If I like your sound, if I can see promise in you, I'm going to fucking keep going with you. If you're somebody who's like, oh, I have like 15,000, and I look over and it's like 2 likes, 1 comment, I'm like, okay, we see where you came from.
Yeah. And it's crazy how that in the last, decade has taken over the platform of music because there never was social media, there never was internet. So it became a new age that now it didn't matter about the music so much because before the internet, you went out and handed out, you had the hustle game and that was it. And people listened to your music and all they knew was your music and from the interactions they had with you. And when social media came into play, it was a window into everyone's soul. It was a window into their life. Now you're seeing them at bars on a Tuesday night and pictures from them. Now you're seeing their families, their lives, what they're doing. And it starts to build up this whole image and thing that never was a part of music. So the whole music industry changed not only in the aspect that Napster and all that came out and destroyed the fucking music industry, because when that happened, it like just tanked. But it also changed it in that regard as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy thing. I remember Napster coming out, and the whole game shifted at that point. Did you have Napster when it first came out?
I did. I had Napster. I had LimeWire. The notorious LimeWire of giving pure cancer and destroying your stuff on the inside. Oh, here's a free MP3 for a new song that's coming out next year. Sure, downloads it into somebody's mixtape. I remember
LimeWire was intense. I'll tell you what, that was, I think everyone in our generation had LimeWire and used the hell out of it, and it was definitely a cesspool of viruses that you were downloading. Oh, man. And it's all changed because it always, that's the one thing, is people don't see that it is an ever-changing thing in the regard that it went from 8-track to cassette to CD to MP3, and beyond. It's crazy to think how it has shifted, and it always finds a way to keep on going. And whenever LimeWire and Napster and all that came out, it made downloading music to your computer this crazy thing. Oh, wow, I don't need to go buy the album. I don't need to find it. I don't have to order nothing. I just download the song, and I can throw it on a mixtape now. I don't have to have Metallica. Ironic that I use them as an example. I don't have to have Metallica on their album. I can have it on a mixtape with Limp Bizkit and whatever else I want to listen to. And it became this crazy thing. Well, then they found a way after a few... Well, then they found a way to market that after a few years, and they're like, well, Spotify, iTunes, and they're like, okay, now we can really bank off of this free download of music. Well, let's make it so you can't get it free. That's against the law, but let's make a margin on every song. And for a while there, the record industry took a big hit because they weren't selling as many records, but then they turned around and turned everything digital, and now they're selling more than ever.
Well, they also have iTunes. I don't know if you were picking out iTunes as well, but I think they're just now going digital. They're getting rid of the iTunes store and just going iTunes streaming. So pretty much now, I think they're just going to be like Spotify and stuff, like where you pay a certain amount of money throughout the year or a month, if you will, and you get paid for the whole discography. Me, I don't fuck with that. Personally, I want the hard copies and the actual people who want to actually go out there and sell music on the street, get that hunger back. I want us to actually start coming out there and start profiting again, because streaming is cool in an aspect of easy access, but I mean, where is the actual personality to it? You can download a song and say, oh, I don't really like that, but I mean, you don't really support your local bands. Me, personally, I love actually going to the bar scene and seeing different bands and support them, because I mean, I want the hustle to come back itself for people just constantly pushing out their product 24/7. The streaming stuff, I like it to a degree, but I don't think it's as personal as it should be.
It isn't, but it's like you start to get tossed in between the lines of, do I conform to what is the norm at this point and sell and get rid of CDs? Because it's hard to sell CDs now.
Oh yeah.
Because vehicles don't even come with CD players in most cases when you buy a vehicle now. So they're slowly fading out, and most homes you start to notice don't have CD players anymore because they have Bluetooth stereo systems, and they have docks that they can plug their iPhones into and things of that nature that you don't need to have a traditional CD player. And it starts to kind of phase that out. And now it's all digital, and even streaming for television, movies, now music. All of it is becoming this world of nothing but streaming. It's very interesting. We're getting rid of all hard copies and just digital. Everything's in the box.
Before you know it, albums are just going to be like cracked open, and you go see a CD and you go see a code. And all you got to do is just download the code, and there you have the whole CD. That's the only time there would be selling CDs. Should be nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But it brings forth new options. Like we were talking about, USB drives, and that is an interesting topic. What is your thought about an artist not offering traditional CDs? I know that you're a fan for CDs, but if someone chooses to go the digital route and say, I'm tossing hard copies, I'm selling strictly USBs of 1 album, 3 albums, 5 albums, making different price points, having it custom logoed on the USB, and just selling those to people.
I'm not against that either, but I guess it just depends on the person, the actual artist, and the actual person itself. I'm never going to knock someone for their hustle and how they actually make their money and how they pursue their career. Because, in the end, if that's a USB drive...
Lost you a little bit right there.
And so as far as the actual, concept itself, I had no problem for someone trying to do that stuff. Because, if my viewers just like streaming the actual album itself and they just want to do it through Spotify, then you have somebody else just, okay, we'll go ahead and just give you 3 albums on this USB, and it's about a quarter of the price of it, but you're still making profit off it. I'm never going to knock someone's hustle and say, oh, man, you shouldn't be doing that. Because, like I said, as me still learning the game and me still trying to find my niche as far as what works and what doesn't work and sticking by the perfect algorithm, everyone's different. Now, I think as far as the USB and putting music on there, I've seen multiple artists in the last 2 years that have been doing that, and I think that is a great freaking idea, because not only does that give you a chance for people who have computers, that keeps you in more of a digital era to where you still have the people in the left field that say, well, I just want hard copies. I want something that's going to represent – I can have something in my hands that can represent your music. And that can fit for someone who's younger now who doesn't want to have these hard copies and the stuff that we grew up with. They just want something they can just plug in and it's good to go and download. It applies to both sides of the audience, and the more audience people you captivate, the easier it is for you to get more larger fan base. So I agree with it.
Well, and the thing is, it's like even the cars now, like I said, they don't have CD players in most of them, but like mine has a port for a USB that you can just plug straight into, and boom, it comes on the music. So if you sell it as an artist and say, okay, it's $30 for that USB or $35 for that USB, what do you get with that? You get 5 Skippy Ickham albums and 2 music videos on that USB for $35. And
yeah,
that's a steal. And why wouldn't you do that? And it's the good thing is it doesn't have the same cost to the artist as 5 individual CDs and 5 individual album covers, but you still get that with a digital copy, because with the digital copy you are getting the digital front and back, CD artwork on it, the track listings of 5 albums and a couple music videos. So you get the whole package at a reasonable price. It's easier to hold, it's easier to carry as an artist, and you don't have the overhead costs. So there's still a cost to it, but you actually end up making more profit off it, which can then extend your merch line out further. So I really agree with it, but I'm someone who loves albums, and I love being out, and I'm someone who used to push my music in the street, and I look at it a different way, but it's hard to say. I like both ends of it. I think it's just changing, and we kind of have to adapt.
Well, I think if we go on perspective to where you have pretty much the cassette player, then you have the cassette of the CD, and everybody's like, oh, the cassette was so much better than the CD. Then you have the CD who's more the streaming. If we had to find a certain happy medium, I would definitely do the USB. If it's my word personally, I would do the USB because it would still be personally what I would value. And I think it'd be a really cool addition because, technology is always fucking changing. It will never stop. That just goes without saying. But I think if we do pretty much USB, there's so much more capabilities with it. You can have unseen footage on it. You can have different stuff you have for different projects. You can have unseen stuff, unheard material. I mean, there's so much different stuff you could do with that concept that would be amazing. And though people will still want hard copies, you can still pan to them and help take care of them. But I think the USB is a really great idea.
Yeah, I definitely think it's something to consider. I've considered it lately for a lot of us, and still thinking on that, but that is possibly in the works. We'll see what we decide to do. I just think, like I said, it's a way of giving great amount of material at one time and saying, you know what, let's give you a special deal, and you can do you're a little bit more flexible when it's all digital because, like I said, your overhead cost is small, so you can kind of be pretty reasonable with the price of how much they get. And if you're on the road, that's definitely where it makes sense, because if you're traveling, you travel light, and you can bump into fans that you're not going to see again anytime soon, and make sure you're getting most of your entire discography in their hands at one time at a good price. Everyone wins.
Exactly.
And we got some comments in. They're pouring in. We got all kinds of comments.
Yeah.
Trouble
That's
had
good,
mentioned Kazaa. I don't know if you remember Kazaa, but I had that before LimeWire. Yeah, that shit sucked. I did. Here's the thing. I think Napster was the worst, though. I think Napster was the worst.
Yeah, he was
at the
talking
time.
about Bearshare. I was like, I know her Bearshare, but Kazaa, yes.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were definitely pretty crazy companies. And they did their thing, though. I'm not knocking them. It's just there was a lot of viruses, a lot of crazy stuff that was on there. That's for sure. Different times. That was like the AOL times, and people were instant messaging each other. Good stuff. Let's take a look at some of these other comments here. All right, we got. It's hard to even follow with. There's so many of them.
That tends to happen on my live streams. I apologize.
No, that's awesome.
Usually...
People saying that they like the flash drive idea and talking about Kazaa. So okay, we're good. We're caught up. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely something to think about with future artists and things going on in the scene. It's ever changing. We've got to keep our eye on it. Now, if you had to battle, as we ask most of our artists, between either a horse-sized beaver or 100 beaver-sized horses, what would you choose and how would you win?
Horse-sized beaver, 100%.
You're taking on the giant beaver.
Yes.
Do you have any type of specific game plan for beating the beaver?
I do not, but I would make sure on my tombstone I said, I fought this motherfucker, and here I lie. So at least someone in my family can say, I fought one, actually, I did that shit. So, I mean, this be something I can have different say. I don't want like the little small mini ones. I think you had a version where you said they had 1,000 mini ones or whatever. I'm like, no, I want the hardest challenge. Once I can do it.
We got Jordan Maddox saying chainsaw mowing down them beavers. Well, no, see, that would be the horses then, because the question is a horse-sized beaver or 100 beaver-sized horses. So, Jordan, you would actually be mowing down the horses.
I will do horse-sized beaver still.
No, yes, absolutely. You're fighting the beaver. That should be the hashtag tonight, actually, is Lyrizone beating the beaver.
Beat the beaver.
Shit's funny. Beat the beaver. All right, good stuff. So, what is it that is your, ultimate goal coming up? What's your 5-year plan as of right now? What can we expect over the next several years as far as projects? Because, I mean, obviously you already mentioned, like, music that you're doing. I'm not just talking that on this question. I mean, over the next 5 years, where do you see your artistic vision progressing to?
I want to have pretty much my merch game 100%, which right now we're building up to the point to where shirts are pretty much being made constantly. We're getting pendants being done. I will pretty much want to have my name be a household name right now in the actual underground. Pretty much, I want to have more shows on my name. I want to actually attend the gathering. I want to see a couple, especially for our people. I want to have either us attend the gathering. I want to have a couple shows with either you guys over in East Coast. I want to have a couple shows with Trouble. A couple albums, pretty much wise. I just don't want the hunger to ever stop as far as music. So my 5-year goal is to stay as hungry as I am now and never stop pushing.
No, I can respect it. I can absolutely respect it, and I think that's what's going to happen for you. And talking about hunger, I think we should jump into our next song of yours. Why don't you give us a shout out into Parasite real quick?
Awesome. So as far as Parasite, I'm going to tell you about it itself, or?
Yeah, just tell us a little bit about the track.
Okay, cool.
You kind of mentioned it earlier, but give us a quick overview and we'll jump into it.
Awesome. As far as the Parasite track, as everyone heard prior, if you haven't heard of it when I was mentioning earlier, you're here now. That was pretty much a very, very hard point in my life. I had to deal with pretty much a female who was very, very more mentally and physically taxing. Constantly was pushing me to limits to where you should never be as a first person. Mentally pushing down. Just a person that you thought was pretty much your yin yang, the evil to your good, yada yada, but then turned to oil. And I used this song Parasite to emphasize that person being a leech, if you will. Whether it was even more just my mind just soaking in all my talent, because at the time I was trying to make more music and be positive, and that person was telling me pretty much stop making music, just be the person that they want me to be. And from that point, I took Parasite. I actually got her much more heard in the Count course, where I was talking about that person, catching them what to do, because actually what brought the song on is me catching the person speaking and doing the act of what you're going to hear. It enraged me, and pretty much after I wrote the song, song's been 2 years in the making. But it pretty much came to the point to where it got my aggression out, made me feel better, and now going towards the situation and going out of it, I feel better now because I released it. This song, you'll hear parts where Kung Fu Vampire will also give his opinion of what's going on personally in his life, because he, prior to writing this song, I sent it over, he had some issues as far as his personal life and was going on. I shouted off to Twisted, and Twisted did what Twisted does best. He killed shit. But I think what you guys will hear on this one, it's a very personal track for me. You guys should enjoy it. It was done as first production by DMK or DKM. He did the track for his first production. Ronald did a great job. I will also type in, and after the show is done, I will type in his name in the live chat so you guys can follow him. Joshua Holland did the after production, which you'll hear is the guitar, the lead, mostly everything that makes the song more gritty and more aggressive. So I'm going to stop talking because I'll ramble and go on tangents like I always do. And you guys enjoy the song and tell me what you think.
Absolutely. Here it is, folks. Parasite here on Uncovering the Underground. We'll be right back.
No one ever treated me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you. Should known for the rip that your word was toxic. Couple times for the start, I blocked it. My bad, my heart was loving you, bitch. You knew the process. You acted wifey, we even picked out a wedding ring. Yeah, I'm moving in, your motives moved on to different things. Went from investing to claiming you don't have the time to. Always choosing to be so petty, we'll be your ride free. Leaving early, one day I might have to take a ride for. See you walking and talking, and then he gets a kiss. Next thing I knew, I was staring at my bathroom mirror. Eyes bloodshot, shirt ripped, gashes on my cheeks, sounded like morning. Advice from the back of my head, say one left alive and one best dead. Parasites, no one ever treated me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the
love me when you don't love yourself. Dusting on the shell, rusting away. I could provide, I could confide. I don't open up to too many people, I don't oblige. Parasitic ways got me running from your haze. Manipulation, stimulated by the simulation. Recreated from a broken nation. Procreation didn't mean shit. Ending up in that snake pit. Ain't no way to erase it. They could try to blacklist me. I'm blackballed with the voodoo black magic when the darkness falls. I got two in the chamber, through with the anger. But the white lies got a vamp wanting to kill them all. Threatening to take everything and now you're really gone. Can you feel this blonde palm with the blood I'm on? I run the long game. You parasite leech motherfuckers, stay filled with shame.
Lyrizone, man, this shit's crazy.
Parasites, no one ever treat me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. But I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
I can't believe I caught you red. Hand it, damn it, it's all for heads. I really wanna get the gunner for you all would let. You said my dick and told me that you did it all for bread. And now I'm here, then I ain't leaving till you all is dead. Fuck, I feel like I'ma really go murder. Take a head off in the middle when they catch you with your bitch, and I'ma get the bun and serve you like a hamburger. Serve. Why you got your hand up, bitch, I ain't your fucking butt. Matter of fact, just hurry, give me all your fucking money. I'ma take it off until the rumble, you gon' meet your doom. You can save it with the bullshit, I ain't leaving till your blood. You know me? Why you had to ride this pipe though? I told you from the beginning, I'm fucking psycho. And now I'm in the middle with the mask and rifle, throwing both up in the van, handcuffed with blindfolds. Damn, I'm about to fuck up some shit. But I caught you just sucking this dick. I want you dog, cause I took a walk and I went and bought this, and I wouldn't be back up in this bitch. I admit that this shit got me pissed. I'm worked up with the heart on this bitch. Don't do it on this bitch. On the real, when the police come, they gon' find you on murder this shit. I'ma roll like a beast. Drunk driver with your head up in the front seat. And I ain't with it when you're dealing with a weasel. I put a gun in every window when I drop heat. I kill the whole house and I get sideways. It ain't no love, ain't no fun if you don't die. I put the pistol in your motherfucking mouth. You was in the room sucking dick, bitch. Don't cry, don't cry.
Parasites, no one ever treat me like you did. Now there's maggots in the walls, feasting on his lips. Like it's my fault, cause I had to see your kiss. Cause I'm the bad guy, yeah, I'm the bad guy. You're about to get it now. Shut your mouth and watch us work. Got a couple demons with me, see just what you deserve. Coming at you threefold, promises don't get worse. Let me finish where you started as I bury you.
And we're back on Uncovering the Underground Radio podcast show. You were just listening to Parasite from Lyrizone. That is an awesome brand new track that he just dropped in the last couple weeks, and that is featuring Kung Fu Vampire and Twisted Insane. Make sure you pick it up, check it out, buy a copy of it. Check out his merch. He's going to tell you here in a couple minutes where you can check out all his stuff at, but make sure you follow him and buy his merch and help him out, support him so he can continue to do what he does best. And we were just talking during the break, and we were talking about animals. We got into an animal question. We never got to get wrapped up, up on that specific subject. We got kind of sidetracked. What was your question you were asking me?
We were talking about the beaver, the horse-sized beaver and stuff like that. And I was actually wanting to inquire what your actual personal favorite animal was.
My personal favorite animal. That's a tough question. I as a kid, actually wanted to be a zoologist, and I had plans of going and taking care of animals because I just loved so many different types of animals. I always liked reptiles a lot, but I always, like lions and apes and everything as well. I think my favorite, that is a tough. I'm a big fan of the armadillo, surprisingly.
Armadillo? Okay.
Yeah, they're a very interesting little animal, I think. They're like a turtle. They're like a rat. They live in the desert. You know what I mean? It's
So you must have seen it Road to El Dorado then.
What's that?
Yeah, the Road to El Dorado. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's
I
a
don't think I
pretty
have.
funny cartoon. It's a funny cartoon movie. I think Disney did it when I was a child or whatever. They pretty much, the armadillo was pretty much be a ball. Because the two main protagonists were pretty much trapped like gods, if you will, and they're playing this ball game, if you will, like basketball. And they pretty much threw the freaking armadillo. It's supposed to go through a hoop. So when they threw it, the armadillo was going out of the hoop and back and forth, and they act like they had special powers.
Okay.
The armadillo is pretty neat animal. I mean, I like it. It's pretty cool.
It's hard to pick though. I mean, I don't know if I'd say that's my favorite, but there's a lot of funny animals. I mean, just think of all the different kind of reptiles and different animals that are out there. Even think of like a porcupine. Like what a strange animal. Like, you know, it can't do anything. It can't touch anything. It's got quills all over it. It's big and bushy. It's like a rodent. You know, like that's a fucking weird animal. And that kind of brings me to one of the questions that I normally do ask guests. And if animals were to take over the entire world, what animal do you think would ultimately rise to the top and be the top? I don't want to say top of the food chain because it doesn't need to be like lions or things like that. It's what do you think if they were to rebel and be smart enough to all try to take over for domination, what would be the ultimate ruler?
That's a really hard question because you have to figure out both the animal kingdom of what actually stands the test of time. Essentially, you think of something that's actually above land and also in water, so it could actually be more versatile. That's a fucking hard question because I mean, that's. Could it be an insect? Because I mean, insects stay alive.
It can
for a
be
while.
anything you want it to be.
A fucking cockroach at this point because it just does nothing. It just you can nuke the fucking land, cockroaches will be there. I hate to say that, but it's true. They're very outlandish type animals. But as far as what I want Komodo dragons because like was going to mention to you, that's one of my favorite actual animals because I just love Komodo dragons, the actual premise of them, their look, where they'll bite their prey and they'll follow it for either like miles or days, and then the toxin will like kill it. So it's slowly degenerated, like you'll gunk out the blood and kill the fucking prey. So the prey eventually just like goes on its way. I think it's fine. It's like, nope, I'm dead.
Yeah, they are definitely intense in that regard. I mean, their venom, not even their venom, their saliva is so toxic that it just poisons the animal, and then they just follow it patiently. They're like, yeah, I'm just gonna follow you for a couple days, and then I'm gonna eat you. And that's a certain type of twisted right there. So that's pretty badass when you think about it. That's not a bad animal to have as a and everybody picks a different one, which is pretty cool. I mean, I've heard a lot of different answers on that one. So Komodo dragon is a first so far.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tyson's saying some things over here. I don't know what he said. I don't know if he's saying a sloth as being a funny animal because there was a conversation going on about that, or he's saying a sloth to take over because I don't know if I see that happening. But sloths are pretty badass. And someone else mentioned anteaters, so I think they're talking about weird animals. Anteaters and sloths are definitely a little peculiar.
Actual animals, but pretty much animal itself, my spirit animal is definitely the sloth. I appreciate it. Like I'd rather just sit on my tree, eat my damn fucking like my leaves, eat my food, open my eyes, and just stare at you, and then go to sleep.
No, I hear you. I hear that absolutely. Well, it looks like we are running down on time, folks. You can always go so much longer when we get into these great conversations and just kick in with one another. And that's why we love what we do here on Uncovering the Underground. We get to talk and meet so many great people, and it's always fun. It always goes by too quick, but that always just leaves for another episode sometime down the road, which we'll definitely have you back. Before we wrap things up for the night, why don't you tell us where we can check out your music and projects at? Give us your shout-outs to who you would like to thank. I have a couple quick announcements and a couple shout-outs myself to some people, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up for the night.
Awesome. As far as music, guys, you can pretty much find me everywhere at this point. It's not very hard to find me on. You can go from SoundCloud. The aggregator I got right now as far as music pretty much puts me everywhere. You can find me on Tidal, find me on pretty much Google Music, YouTube. He makes their own video for music now. Spotify, which I constantly push Spotify because we have a new album just came out, The Anthem to the Asylum. I promote that on my front page. As far as networking, you guys can pretty much talk to me one-on-one on Facebook. You can find me under Lyrizone, Lyrizone. You can just type that in the search bar and I'll be there. You'll see at The Real Lyrizone. You'll see the guy with the blue mask, LZ. My main one I go on 24/7, Instagram. It's www.instagram.com/TheRealLyrizone. That's The Real Lyrizone at TheRealLyly. Sorry, I can't talk today. Jesus Christ, must be a long day. TheRealLyrizone. You can find me there. You'll see pretty much music clips, stuff like that. As far as shout-outs, because it's been a very long day, I'll just go ahead and keep it short, everyone. I want to shout out Joshua Holland, my engineer at Greenlight Studios. He's one of the best engineers I've worked with or will ever work with. Haitian guy, Grant Clements, my producer, pretty much everyone in the Brutal Business camp, because they're the family. Want to thank you, Skippy Ickham, for having me on this platform. It was a really great opportunity. I appreciate you for it. I also want to thank everyone who actually started with me back home in South Carolina as far as music, and everyone who's going to follow me pretty much to where I'm going right now and succeeding. So thank you all for your contribution of making me an artist and a better person, and I hope you enjoy the music coming forward.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate having you on the show, and we're glad that we were able to get you on here and talk to you. We do want to tell the folks that we do have some fun things coming up. We do have July 27th. We are playing at Elwood City at, let me pull it up for you. It's the Double Dealings Creature Feature, and that is at 100 Spring Avenue, Elwood City, PA. And it's going to be a great show. There's about 9 performances being on that specific roster. And we got Morbid Psychosis, Ghost the Demented, Jay Allen, Demo Demon, East Coast Crazies, 9-Stitch Method, Skippy Ickham, and more. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great show. DBK is on that as well, and I think a few others. So it's going to be a pretty good time. Make sure you come out and check it out. It's free. There's no entry fee. It's 21 and up. Again, that's July 27th in Elwood City. Hit me up for details if you need. Check out www.teambrutalbusiness.com for all your Brutal Business entertainment updates. Want to shout out to Killer Graphics from our man Tyson, a.k.a. Trouble. Check him out. He does great video work. He does great artwork. He has been with us tonight on the show in the comments. We appreciate him checking it out. Make sure you check out his stuff. I've been using him on some stuff. The label's been using him on some stuff, and he's been killing it. So, hence the name Killer Graphics. We want to shout out to Roush Designs. We want to shout out to, in this case, Tattooed Scumbag Apparel, Brutal by Design Apparel, and all of you guys for listening in this evening. It's been great to have you on the show, and we will catch you next time, next week, and that is going to be, let me pull up the date for you folks. That is July 11th. You can catch us with Ghost the Demented and Bella Rotten, both of Brutal Business as well, because if you didn't know, we are doing a Brutal Business Takeover July, where everyone we interview on Uncovering the Underground is Brutal Business Entertainment members. So we got Bella Rotten and Ghost the Demented next week on the 11th. We are skipping a week on the 18th. I have some personal things going on. And then we return back on the 25th, and that is Miss Red from Brutal Business as well. She is also a great designer, and that's who Roush Designs is that you heard us mention earlier. She's one of the sponsors of the show as well. So thank you for tuning in tonight. We love you guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Skippy Ickham, and we'll see you next week. Take care on Uncovering the Underground. Have a good night.